Hello there. This will be a beginner-friendly video that will focus on the legs and hips, but will include stretches for the entire body. It'll be about an hour in length, and we'll try to include about an 8 to 10 minute shavasana. So let's start in a seated position. And we're going to do a mudra today called the Hakini mudra. So pretty simple. All you do is touch the tips of all of the fingers. So thumb to thumb, index to index, middle to middle, ring to ring, and little to little, pinky to pinky. So just kind of touching those fingertips. Now in reflexology, the fingertips and the tips of the toes, they represent the brain. And so when we touch these areas, we stimulate these areas of the fingertips or the toes, we are stimulating our brain. And so as you just begin to gently touch the tips of the fingers, you can hold it in front of your chest. You could bring it down into your lap if that feels better. So whatever feels good. And if you like, you can start to gently tap the fingertips together at whatever pace you like. So either holding them together or gently tapping the fingertips. I like to bring it to stillness, so I tap about 30 to 60 times and then just let the fingertips rest against each other. Let the hands rest down in the lap, letting your arms just be soft, but fingertips still touching. And we'll begin to bring some awareness to our posture. So sit up a little taller. Feel your shoulders drop down away from your ears so that your neck is lengthening out a little bit longer. Perhaps closing your eyes if that feels good, or just lowering your gaze down to the ground or to the yoga mat. Feeling wherever your lower body is touching the ground in whatever seated position you have chosen. Tailbone, thighs, ankles maybe. And starting to just bring your awareness now to your breath. Breathing in a little bit deeper and breathing out a little bit deeper. Just more consciousness to the breath. And now we'll bring in some sort of thought, like an intention, a dedication for your practice maybe. Perhaps it comes in the form of a prayer, or maybe it's as simple as one word. So some sort of intention. What do you intend to do in this next hour, in this day, in this week? And we'll start to release. Release the posture. Bring your hands out to the sides of your body, maybe off the yoga mat. Sit up even taller if you started to slump a little bit. And we're going to start to add a little twist here. So take your right hand and bring it to your left knee. Left hand to the mat behind you. Really gentle. Take an inhale, sit up tall, and as you exhale, add a gentle twist. Inhale and take another breath here. Exhale for another twist. Now let's take it to the opposite direction. So sweep your right hand behind you. Bring your left hand to the right knee or thigh. Sit up nice and tall, and we'll give ourselves 2 breaths and 2 twists. Every inhale is a gentle lifting. Every exhale, twisting. Beautiful. Sweep that left hand back behind you. Now if your legs are crisscrossed, let's try it the other way. If your legs are straight out, just keep them like that. It's up to you. And we're going to try 2 more twists to each direction. So left side, left hand behind you, right hand to the thigh, and start to just press into that twist. We don't want it to hurt, we want it to feel good. And we'll try it to the other side. So 2 twists to the right. Bring yourself back to center. Extend those legs out. So if they're crisscrossed, extend them out. Flex your feet. Sweep the hands all the way up to the sky. Start to round through your back, and we're going to reach for our shins. Reach for your knees, reach for your ankles. Something really simple so that you're not overstretching here. Just starting to feel something gentle behind the knees. Round the back, start to look down at your thighs, look down at your knees. And let's curl back up to seated. Sweep your hands all the way up. Same thing, reaching forward for your toes, your ankles, your shins, your knees. Rounding over. Starting to inhale and slide back up your thighs, back up to your knees. Last time, sweep your hands all the way up overhead. Reach for your toes, reach for your ankles, reach for your shins, wherever you are, bowing over. Round your back. One more breath. Start to inhale and slide your hands up your shins, up your knees, up your thighs. Great. Let's add the twist with straight legs. Take your left hand to your outer right knee, outer right thigh. Sweep your right hand right behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, add a little pressure, add the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Cross the right arm over top to the outer left leg. Slip your left hand out to the back of your mat. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, add a twist. Good job. Inhale, back to center. And we'll come back up. Last forward fold here. Inhaling all the way up. Reach up for the sky. Fold over, round your back, reach for your toes, reach for your ankles, your shins, or your knees. Bow your head so that you're rounding your back. And we'll start to bring ourselves back up. Sweep your hands behind you so that they're supporting you behind you on the mat. Bend through your knees. Rock those knees right and left. Let the hips lift. So as your legs go to the left or the right, let your left hip lift, vice versa. Great work. We're going to get a bit more intense into each hamstring here. So we'll start with the right leg. Extend your right leg out and let your left knee come out to the side. If your left knee is a little bit lifted, you could always use a block there to support it, or a rolled up blanket or pillow. Otherwise, gravity is going to do the work there, opening up the thigh, the knee. Inhale all the way up to the sky. And then round over top, reaching for your right foot or your ankle, shin, or knee, wherever you might be there. And start to bow over, round the back. Really start to focus on the hamstring. So that's behind the knee and in the upper thigh. You might also feel this in the calf or the lower part of the leg. Breathe a little deeper here. Send some blood, some oxygen to the right leg. But remember, if it ever hurts, you can always come up out of the pose. You can always take a break if you need to. We try to hold the postures for about 4 to 6 breaths. Inhale here and start to slide back up the right knee. We're going to work the inner thigh next. So what you want to do is take your left foot and separate it from your right thigh and adjust your hips so that you're now at a diagonal. So your right leg stays where it is, left foot just separates a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. And start to walk forward. Walk towards your foot. Flex your right foot there. Relax the shoulders. Feel the right inner thigh. Feel it stretching. Breathe into that stretch. Inner thigh just stretching out there. Breathing into it. I know that this can be a really intense spot, so I remind a lot about the breath when we go into inner thigh stretches. We're moving into a lot of the meridians in the inner thigh area. Now let's switch this over. So we're going to kind of walk our hands over to our right leg. Right hand lands on the right shin or knee or ankle. Left hand is going to sweep out towards the wall behind you and up towards the sky. Maybe over your head so that your left hand is reaching towards your right foot. And then you want to relax your right shoulder. Coming into a nice left side body stretch there with a right inner thigh stretch. Try to look up towards the ceiling underneath your left arm. Breathing deep. One more. Inhale and fan your way back up to center. And we're going to make our way back forward. If it's okay for you, bring your right foot to meet your left in Baddha Konasana. Knees apart, feet together, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Start to fold into your feet, leaning your belly or your heart towards your feet. If it's becoming uncomfortable at all, you might lean to the right and to the left there, or just back up just a little bit to make it less uncomfortable. So find something that allows you to be in the stretch and feel it, but not in pain. A little discomfort's okay, but pain is a different story there. Now let's start to roll back up to center, and we'll extend our left foot straight out. Alright, so for this, we want our right foot to be, right in our left knee area, inner thigh somewhere. We want to flex our left foot. Inhale, sweep up all the way for the sky. And then bow right over top your left leg, reaching for your left foot or your ankle, bowing your head here, rounding your back a little bit, looking down at your thigh or your knee, and breathing. Feeling that stretch somewhere behind your left thigh or your left knee. Some will feel it down in the calf muscle as well, in the lower leg. You'll feel the stretch wherever you really need it, wherever you're the tightest. Nice work. Let's start to roll up, slide up that left leg. We're moving into the inner thigh. So adjust your foot. Your right foot is going to separate, and we adjust our hips out to the side so that now we're at a diagonal angle. And so we want our left leg straight out, right foot right in front, flex your right foot, and then we're going to start to lean our belly, our chest, towards our right foot, and that will activate the left inner thigh. You can flex the left foot. That will protect the knee. And start to just lean into that foot and breathe into it. This is that really intense one. It's very intense for me, so I have to continuously remind myself to just breathe. Know that everything is temporary. This sensation, perhaps this tightness in my inner thigh, all temporary. Remembering the intention that you created during our initial meditation, where you just sat and thought of that intention, that prayer. Let's back up out of this pose and we'll add our side sway too. So sweep your left hand down your left leg. right hand will reach out towards the wall behind you, up towards the sky. And if it's okay for your shoulder, maybe it continues over your head, right arm reaching over your head towards your left toes. Start to spiral your chest open, looking up towards the sky underneath your right arm. Relaxing your left shoulder so that there's no tension there between your left ear and your left shoulder. 2 more breaths. With an inhale, let's bring it all back up to center. Rotate back ahead. And bring your left foot to meet your right, back into this Baddha Konasana. Nice. We'll sit up nice and tall, let those shoulders drop, and then start to lean the belly, lean the chest towards the feet. See if it's different now than just a couple minutes ago, how those hips may have changed. Maybe they haven't changed a lot. Maybe they're still feeling pretty tight. So this allows us to make these assessments of how our body is responding to the work. A little bit of leaning from right to left to see if there's more tightness in the left, more tightness in the right. See what you're feeling. Nice work. We're going to come back to our original pose, so keep your left leg bent and send your right leg out. We're going to be moving into some twists with hip openers. So now we're going to take this left leg and kind of just cross it over top, kind of like you're reading a newspaper, having some coffee. You want to take your left hand on your left knee, your right hand on your left ankle, and see if you can pick that foot and that leg up off of your right leg, pulling it up towards your chest. For me, I have to kind of hug on to that leg a little bit. For some of you, it might be more simple if your knee bends a little bit more and you angle the knee up towards the sky. For some, it might be more effective to angle the knee out. So see which angle works the best for your body here, which angle serves you. And then start to wiggle that leg out and see what kind of stretch you can find in the hip. We're going to add the twist here. So let's bring our left foot over top our right leg. Drop it down so that the foot is down on the ground on the outside of the right thigh. Use your right arm to hug on to that left leg. The left hand will come to the mat right behind your body. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders relax. And start to just breathe into that twist. Now this is the beginner twist. If you'd like to make it a little bit more advanced, a little bit more intermediate, you could take this right arm and swing it over top your left knee so that it hooks on. And then maybe add some tension there so that you're creating a little bit of tension, pressing into your left thigh with your right elbow, and maybe even looking over your left shoulder towards the wall behind you, getting the neck involved. Let's unwind and try it on the other side. So unhook that left leg, wiggle it out a little bit. And now we'll add that hip stretch with a twist on the right side. So we're going to cross that right leg over, kind of like you're reading a newspaper. And then we're going to grab onto our foot and our knee and try to just lift the foot up. Now if that starts to add any kind of tension or twisting in the knee, then it might be easier to point your knee up towards the sky, give it a hug. Or maybe try some of those different angles, turning the knee out, lifting the foot a little bit, trying to make a right angle with your right knee, and adding a little bit of rocking wherever you are. So whether your leg is like this in a right angle, or it's more hugged into the body, the choice is yours. So which one serves you the best? Now let's add the twist. So we're going to bring our foot down on the outside of our left leg. right hand swings to the mat behind you, and you can continue to hug on to that right knee with your left arm. If you'd like to add something a little bit further, a little bit more intermediate, then just swing that left arm up and over to the outside of the right thigh and add some tension there, really pressing into the twist. One more breath. And unwind. Unwind that right leg, wiggle the feet out, bend the knees, wiggle the knees and the hips out. All right, and from here, we're going to start to work into the upper body a little bit. So find your favorite seat. If it's like this with your legs straight out, that's fine. If you like cross-legged seated pose like me, then you can come to cross-legged seated pose. So it's really whatever your lower body is most comfortable with. Upper body is what we're going to focus on next. So I'm going to sit on my blanket so that I'm lifted up a little bit more. Opens the hips for me so that the knees drop down below the blanket. We're going to ground through our fingers and we're going to be working from the hips up. So keep this area grounded. You don't want one hip to lift or the other to lift at any point. We want to keep our legs stationary. Fingertips are grounded once again. We're going to drop into the right hand, left hand swings up over your head, and then you can start to drop into that right side body. You want the right shoulder to drop down away from your ear so that your elbow is bending. But remember, left hip stays grounded. 2 more breaths as we hold this stretch. And with an inhale, we'll bring it all back up to center, grounding down through the left hand. Drop into that left hand. Swing the right hand up, perhaps over, and then if you want to continue into that stretch even further, bend the left elbow and fold into the left side. 3 breaths, just holding this pose. Feeling the right side stretching, grounding through that sit bone, reaching through the right ribs and the right fingers. Inhale and swing yourself back up. Nice work. Drop the shoulders. So let's kind of squeeze them up to our ears, shrug our shoulders really hard, and then drop them down. Lengthen the neck. Bring the crown of the head up. Nice. And from here, drop chin to chest. Start to roll your head like you're tracing your collarbone with your chin to the right. So the right side of your chin traces the right collarbone as your right ear drops towards the right shoulder. And then we'll drop the chin back to the chest and roll our left ear to the left shoulder. Trace the collarbone back to center and go towards the right. Once again, tracing back to center and towards the left. Trace the collarbone back to center and one more time towards the right. Swing your right arm out and maybe up over your head for 2 breaths, just assisting your head a bit further to the right, maybe drawing your chin forward slightly, feeling into the back of the neck. Release the hand, chin to chest. Roll your head to the left. And if you'd like to add that more challenging posture, you can swing your left hand up over your head for your right side, like your right ear, and start to add that gentle pull, nothing that hurts, remember that. Maybe drawing the chin forward a little so that that stretch moves into the back of the neck. And whenever you're done, you can release that. If you found something good, you can always hang out longer. Releasing the left hand when you're ready, tracing the chin back to the chest. Both hands swing up. Interlace your fingers and bring the hands to the back of your head. Let your elbows just be heavy and start to round through your neck, chin to chest, round through your upper back, round through your middle back, so that you're really just kind of rounding your back here, arcing the back. And then we'll arch the opposite way forward, lifting your elbows, reaching through your ribs towards me, towards the sky. Big inhale, and as you exhale, round over, elbows come closer together. Inhale like wings, open those wings, squeeze your shoulder blades back, push into your hands with your head. And exhale to round over, elbows come closer together. One more, just opening the elbows. Release your hands down. And let's rotate the head to the left and rotate to the right. And just kind of check it out, see if there's any stiffness in there as you rotate. Any resistance. Any areas where you get stuck or there's a little bit, like a little spot. And then try out some different angles. So just moving your head around, circles around the neck, rotations. And then let's move into the shoulders. So squeezing the shoulders up and back and down, and up to the ears and back together and down. A couple more. Awesome. All right, so let's shift forward to hands and knees, and we'll get our shoulders into motion. So as you come forward to hands and knees, make sure that you have a little cushion for your knees if you need that. And so we want to really work into our shoulder girdle here. So what we want to do is start there. As you come into a cow pose, you want your shoulder blades to drop together. So you might be able to see how my shoulder blades slide together on my back. And then I lift my tailbone and look forward. And then we'll go into cat, the opposite. So I'm going to turn my tailbone down, it starts to arc my back, and then I'm going to push into my hands so that my shoulder blades come apart. And I drop my head so that my shoulders are by my ears. So my arms are staying straight. Let's try that again. Arms don't really shift. The shoulder blades just slide together on the back as you look forward and lift the tailbone. And then round your back, look back at your thighs, press into the mat, the shoulders come by your ears. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Couple times. One more. Inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Great work. Come on back to center. Add a little dog wag, side to side, a couple times. We'll add more on later. Got to get our hands off the ground here for a couple minutes so that our wrists don't get too tired. So with that, we are going to just kind of walk through downward dog, so don't spend a lot of time there. We'll perfect it later. So just kind of tuck your toes and start to walk forward as you lift your knees, maybe walking your hands back towards your feet, a combination of both, so that you end up in something that resembles a forward fold. Maybe you reach the ground, maybe you're not quite there yet, maybe you have a block handy. Blocks are really nice if you're not quite at the ground, so that the ground can be raised up to you. And from here, we're going to start to just soften the knees, like you're going to sit into a chair. Swing your arms out like a bird and start to reach up towards the sky. Carry yourself all the way up to standing. And then the hands will come together at the heart center. Let your hands be soft, maybe even bringing them back to the Hakini mudra. Just touching those fingertips a couple times. Standing up nice and tall. Coming back to your breath and back to your intention, whatever that thought was, that prayer was, that you intended on when we began. Really infuse that thought into the practice. Inhale here. Push your palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to your sides. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. And exhale, just bringing your hands down through the third eye, past the nose, down to the heart, and down to the sides of your body. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, down through the third eye, through the nose, through the heart, through the navel, all the way to the sides. Last time, inhaling all the way up. Exhale, down through the center line. Next time, we're going to fold into that, inhaling all the way up overhead. As you exhale and the hands come through that center line, start to bend your knees and fold at the hips. Reach down for the floor. Nice work. Inhale and bring your hands to your shins or your knees so that your back is nice and flat and you're looking straight down at the ground. Shoulders again are away from your ears so that they're making your neck reach out a little bit longer. Inhale, pull that belly button in. As you exhale, bend your knees and forward fold. We're going to reverse swan dive up to standing. Sweep your arms out like a bird, press into your feet, hinge at your hips, lifting all the way up. Hands come through heart center to the sides of your body. Do that again, folding forward. Inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands come through that center line to the nose, to the heart. Soften your knees and forward bend, forward fold. Reach for your toes or a block. Let your head drop. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten the back. Take another breath. Exhale here, staying in the pose. Inhale one more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out or forward. We're reverse swan diving all the way up to standing, reaching up to the sky. Exhale just to the heart. Third time, inhale here. Exhale, hands to the sides. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. And as you exhale through the center line, through the third eye, the nose, the heart, the navel, start to soften your knees and forward bend towards your toes. Chin to chest. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and forward fold. Alright, so we're going to do something where we just kind of walk our feet and our hands apart. So hands walk forward. Feet walk back for downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet a couple times, lift those hips up, really push into the floor, push into the feet. Look at your hands and start to tippy toe your feet forward. And I get about, maybe 6 inches in, and then I have to start walking my hands back. Soften the knees, coming into something that resembles the forward fold. Inhale and lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to do that again. Walk your hands out forward. Walk your feet back. Your version of downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet a couple times here. Stretching the feet, the calves, the ankles, really pushing into the palms. And then looking at your hands and starting to tippy toe forward. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Soften those knees. And inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms out like a bird. Push into the feet. Reverse swan dive, sweeping all the way up to standing. Exhale, heart center with the hands. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the sides. Inhale, out, up, overhead. Exhale through the center line, forehead, nose, chest, navel, forward folding, softening your knees, reaching your fingertips down, head relaxing. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees, bend them a lot, walk your hands forward, walk your feet back for downward facing dog. Make sure your feet are separated, all 10 toes facing forward, palms pressing into the mat, pushing through the hands so that the shoulders are lifting, the tailbone is lifting. We're going to look at our hands and forward kind of fold, so your feet stay where they are and we're just lengthening. We're folding or lengthening over top our hands into plank. So if you need to walk your feet back a little bit, you can. Try your best plank. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine and then lift through the hips. Look back at your toes, ankles, soften those knees if you need to, back to downward dog. Let's try that 2 more times. Inhale, release into plank. Flatten the back, squeeze through the glutes a little bit. Inhale, roll back up to downward facing dog. Last time, we're coming into plank. You can drop to your knees in plank too, so this is still plank. And then we'll hinge at the hips, looking back to our toes, downward dog. Start to walk your feet forward. Soften your knees, walk your hands back. Inhale and lift halfway, flatten your back out, shoulders drop down away from those ears. Exhale, back to a forward fold, soften the knees, bend them. Sweep your arms out, press through the feet, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Hands come through the third eye to the nose, to the heart center, and we'll stop there and breathe for a couple breaths. Inhale here. Think of your intention. Exhale, bring your hands to your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your hands out, up, overhead. Exhale, through the third eye, through the nose, the heart, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten the back, lengthen the legs, shoulders down. Exhale, bend your knees, bend them a lot. Walk your hands forward. Step your feet back, find your downward facing dog. Look from your toes to your hands and roll forward into your plank position. Drop to your knees if you'd like and start to lower down towards the ground, onto your belly, onto your thighs. Let your elbows come back so that your shoulders are not rolling forward. We want our shoulders to be picked up off the ground. Shoulder blades kind of squeezing together on the back there. Tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. Inhale and just look forward. Feel your low back activate and lower back down. You can bring a cheek to the floor. Let's do it again. So look straight forward. Press into your belly, press into your palms just a little bit, and squeeze through the glutes, squeeze through your back. You can push up even higher if you want to. And we'll lower back down. Last time, lifting through the crown, lifting through your heart. If you want to push into your hands and come into cobra or up dog, you're welcome to. We'll lower back through to sphinx. Press up to hands and knees, tabletop. Make any adjustments. Tuck your toes and roll up to your downward facing dog. Walking those feet forward just a little bit. Pedal the feet, so press the right heel down, then press the left heel down, stretching those calves. Look from your toes to your hands and start to walk forward. Walk your hands back to your feet so that you're in a forward fold. Inhale and lift halfway, flatten the back. Exhale, back to a forward fold. Soften those knees, bend them. Let your head go. Let your arms go. Sweep your arms out, press into your feet, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. All the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Pause there. Breathe a couple times here and think of that intention. Ground through your feet, maybe walking it out a little bit, kind of just walking around, seeing where the ground is in comparison to the feet, how grounded they might be. Inhale, palms together, shoulders back, head lifted. Exhale, hands to the sides of your body, Tadasana, mountain position. Inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up overhead for Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up for the sky. Exhale, hands come together through the third eye, through the nose, through the heart, through the navel, softening the knees, folding forward. Reaching for the ground or a block, letting your head go. We'll try this 3 times. Inhale and lift halfway, flatten the back, shoulders down. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head go. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten the back. Exhale, forward fold. All the way. Last time. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Walk your hands forward. Step your feet back. Downward facing dog. Look at your toes, look at your ankles, push through your palms, activate your shoulders, pull them together on your spine. Squeeze through the glutes, squeeze through the belly button. Look at your hands and roll forward into plank position. So you really got to squeeze through the glutes there, push through the palms, and then we'll add a chaturanga, and you can drop to your knees for that. Unhook your toes and lower through your thighs, belly, and chest. And then we'll add an upward lift here, so it could be a sphinx, where your hands have very little weight. It could be a cobra, where you've got lots of pressure on the palms, but you want those elbows pulled into your sides. You could go in for an up dog if you're ready for it. Lowering back down through those options. Tuck your toes, rolling back up to downward facing dog. Look at those toes, make any adjustments. Bend your knees a lot, lift your heels, like you're gonna drop your knees to the floor, but don't. And then roll back up. Press your heels down to the floor. Drop those knees, but don't let them drop all the way, just let them hover. And then roll back up to downward dog. Look at your hands and start to walk forward. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Forward fold. Let your head just hang. Shake it no. Shake it yes. Let your arms go. Sweep your arms out like a bird. Press through the feet, hinge at the hips, rolling all the way up. Reach up for the sky. Bring your hands down through your third eye, to your nose, to your lips, and to your heart. Let your shoulders drop down. The crown remains lifted while the feet lower down and ground into the mat. We're going to do a half salutation to make our way to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the sides of your body. Inhale all the way up overhead, just like we've been doing. Exhale through the third eye, the nose, the lips, the heart. Soften your knees, hips go back. We fold forward. Inhale and lift halfway. Exhale, soften your knees, walk your hands forward, step your feet back, downward dog. It's your last downward dog for this program, this class, this sequence, so make it worth it. Really press those heels down, really stretch those calves, really press into the mat, lifting through your tailbone. And then we'll release our knees all the way down to the mat so that you're back in tabletop. And then we're going to separate the knees. Keep your hips where they are. Walk your hands forward. So much that you can drop onto your elbows. And then release your forehead down to the mat so that you're looking underneath you towards your feet or your toes. And we resemble a puppy, a playful puppy. This is a nice back bend, so try to melt your chest, melt your back towards the floor. Some like to rest on the chin, some like to rest on the third eye. Start to smooth your breath, slow it down. Press up to the palms, but keep them extended out in front of you. I'll face towards the camera here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. We'll walk our hands off the mat towards the right, but the knees stay where they are. And then I'm going to sink down into my hips once again, but lean into the left armpit. So feel a little bit extra stretch in that left armpit, that left rib cage. 2 more breaths. Bring yourself back up to your palms. When you're ready, you're always welcome to stay longer. We're going to walk our hands over to the left, off the mat, and start to sink back into our puppy pose. This time leaning a bit more into our right underarm, right rib cage, leaning towards the right. You can come on back up to center, walk your hands back to center here, walk them back underneath your shoulders, bring your knees to one side of the mat and drop your hip down. Swing your legs around so that you begin to lay on your mat. So start to roll back, give yourself a little break, let your arms drop out, let your knees swing or windshield wiper from right to left. If you need to, you can add anything else in here. So some nice things to add at the end would be teeing the arms out to the side and letting both knees drop to the right and just allowing your shoulders to stay flat, maybe even glancing to the left. And then making sure that you switch, bringing your feet back to center, glancing to the right as your knees drop to the left. Couple breaths as your back releases into that pose. Back to center when you're ready. If you need to do that one more time on each side, please feel free to do that, or any other kind of movement that you'd like here. Now is time for our Shavasana so that we can feel all of the work that we've done. So if you'd like, you can keep your feet flat and your knees bent, perhaps knocking your knees together. Another good option is feet together, knees apart for a Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle position. Or there's always the traditional Shavasana with the feet extended out to a 45-degree, hands extended out, arms lengthened again to a 45-degree, palms facing up, knuckles relaxed, fingers curled, relaxed. Turn your awareness into your face and see if there's any tension in your jaw, your teeth, your tongue, your eyes, your forehead, your ears, your scalp. Bring your awareness to your neck and your shoulders, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your right palm, your right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, your right little finger. And bring your awareness now to your left palm, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, your left pinky, little finger. Bring your awareness to your rib cage and notice how you're breathing. Let your awareness travel down your spine into your low back, where your back meets your pelvis, your hips. Just bringing the awareness, the attention to that area and seeing how different it might be. If there's any residual stiffness that you might feel there. Bring your awareness to your thighs, your knees, your lower legs, ankles, your right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and right little toe. Bring your awareness to your left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe. Let your body be heavy on the ground, just resting. Your whole body, your head, your arms, your chest, your hips, your legs, your feet, just laying wherever you might be, taking note of your surroundings. Bring your awareness to your surroundings, wherever you may be laying. Feeling your body heavy. Each inhale, feel your body kind of lift where your belly expands. And each inhale, feel yourself sink just a bit deeper into the floor. Inhaling, feeling the belly expand. Exhaling, feeling the body sink. Start to roll your feet in and out, just bringing awareness to your legs. Bring the fingertips to touch over your belly. Hakini mudra. Start to tap the fingertips together. You've seen this maybe in movies when people are thinking really hard or plotting for something. The Hakini mudra stimulates the brain and allows us to remember. So if there's ever a time when you're really trying to remember that thing that's on the tip of your tongue, remember where you put your keys, the Hakini mudra is said to help. For now, we're just stimulating the body and the brain. Let's start to swing the arms up overhead and zip your legs together, pointing your toes, reaching your hands up, a big full body stretch, like a good morning stretch. And relax, sink back into the floor, be heavy for just one more moment. You're welcome to stay here, just laying on your back if you'd like. If you would like to start rolling to a side, just choose a side, whichever side you're naturally drawn to rolling to. Take a moment in your side laying position for gratitude for this body that is so capable and so strong, with the ability to gain strength and flexibility in the body. Intention with the mind. Start to press yourself back to center, seated if you would like. You're welcome to remain laying if that's what is serving you today. However you like to sit, if you choose to come back to seated. Maybe coming back to Hakini mudra with it loose in your lap, just fingertips touching, and reminding yourself of your intention. Whatever that intention was, whatever that thought was that you invoked into your practice today, perhaps it's a prayer, maybe it's just one word. My word today is presence, just staying present with whatever it is that is flowing through my body, through my mind. Always being aware of whatever it is that is happening in and around me.